Hello, my name is Neil George, and we are live at the San Francisco Money Show. And joining me is Omar Ayales, who basically is one of the technical analysis for the Aiden Group out of Costa Rica. And he also is the chief editor of Gold Charts R Us. Yeah, Omar, thank you again for joining us. In the last segment, we talked about more specifically about the gold market, but we also want to talk about some of the other metals, and particularly one of the areas that a lot of people are focusing on in analyzing whether or not we're going to see further global growth is the copper market, as it relates to a lot of industrial and electronics uses. What is your viewpoint on the copper market? Are we going to see any recovery there?
I actually do believe that copper remains in a bull market. If you draw a trend line, from the lows in 2016, January 2016 to today, you actually see that copper has a strong support around the 255 level. So we are bullish copper, even though the recent decline has been more of a offsetting the violent uprise it's been having the past year or so. So I actually just think it's a reverting back to a mean and a typical uptrend. That is it's cyclical bull market support.
Now, are we seeing a lot of speculation in this market, or are we seeing more of the industrial buyers or hedgers coming into this marketplace?
I do see real growth. So I do see the real buyers, not as much speculation. I think speculation could have fueled the rise that we saw maybe late last year, earlier this year, and I think right now it's coming down to a more realistic level. But within still an uptrend, and I do believe business is growing, economy is flourishing, and I think those should be supportive for copper as well.
Now, looking at the market, there's basically two sides of the copper market. You have a lot of the producers, particularly coming out of Chile and so forth, with some of their very rich fields in the desert area, and then you have the other side on the buy side, a lot of the Asian markets where you have the smelters and the electronic assemblies. If we look at the producers, are we seeing a lot of hedging taking place, or are they willing to let the copper market fluctuate for now?
Well, I do believe that we have seen, especially regarding recent actions with international trade skirmishes, we probably have seen some of the speculative positioning putting downside pressure on the copper price. But again, I do believe that demand is real, and that the dynamic remains bullish.
And so that would be supportive of what you were saying earlier, that you're seeing the industry stepping in and buying as part of their acquisition for further production?
Definitely.
So again, looking more of a bullish case and the continuation of what copper has been doing over the recent years.
Exactly, since January 2016.
Now let's take another area of another economic commodity, which is the petroleum market. Okay. We basically started to see a fairly good recovery this year. Is this something that you see as sustainable, or are we starting to question whether or not petroleum is going to see some softness?
No, I think we've been actually very bullish on crude specifically for the past over a year and a half. I forget exactly the low in that market. I think June last year, I believe. And we've been very bullish on crude. It's been rising for a variety of reasons. I think the demand for resources are there, but I also see a lot of supply disruption that is actually also giving the crude markets a boost.
So again, we're looking at in the U.S. West Texas Intermediate. You're right now sort of in that middle to slightly upper $60 range. We've touched on 70. You have Brent, which has been touched on 80 periodically. Are we looking for some further upside, or are we basically looking to see them sustained at these sort of supported levels?
We could see them sustaining, for the short term. I do see higher levels, in the intermediate term for sure. $80 is one of our targets.
So $80 for West Texas.
For West Texas, exactly.
And then Brent maybe towards 90.
Probably towards 90. Yes.
So that would be encouraging for the producers and not so good for the consumers.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think when the tide rises, everybody benefits. So I do feel that that is also indicative of stronger growth, stronger economic dynamics. And even though it is stronger gas prices at the pump, I do feel that everybody's also doing a little bit better. So.
Omar, thank you very much for your comments. This is Neil George. We're live at the Money Show in San Francisco with Omar Ayales from Aiden Investment Research out of Costa Rica. Thanks very much for watching.